I came across this thread on Twitter from Johnny Deaton that I thought was pretty powerful and can, shed light on kind of what we've been covering through the channel when it comes to, the Ripple versus the SEC stuff. So Johnny Deaton, as of today, January 11th, he tweeted, "Why won't Gary Gensler admit today's Ethereum is not a security?" Providing the answer. Hint: if you own Ethereum, you won't like the answer. So as we come down, on April 23rd, 2018, Gary Gensler at MIT Business of Blockchain, then former CFTC chairman Gary Gensler, says there is not regulatory clarity in the digital asset markets and for Ripple, and there needs to be clarity in the market. Sounds like a decent fair notice argument. So as we come down here, compliance, change, and behavior without enforcement. There needs to be clarity in the market. So we're just going to take a listen to this.
Lots of problems. The people who issued the tokens, are they criminals? What happens to them? And then the people who are holding the tokens, were they scammed and how do they get redress?
I think regulators around the globe will sort it through, but as you saw in the first of these last summer, the DAO, D-A-O, the SEC chose to write, I think it would be called an order, but they didn't actually then have a civil money penalty. They didn't charge. They just wrote an order and tried to change behavior. I think there is a reasonable case to be made that if you can come into compliance, if the Securities and Exchange Commission gives some number of months, and I don't know what that is right up a period of time, but some number of months or a year or whatever to come into compliance, then they'll look forward. The challenge is compliance is about disclosure. That's hard to do, but it's doable. Compliance is about the manner of sale. You can't change the manner of sale from 2 years ago, but maybe you can change the manner of sale going forward. Compliance is about beneficial ownership. That's a tricky one. Compliance is about anti-fraud and insider trading rules. So, but I think it's more like, let's look forward, and there's 1,000+ horses running on the field that got out of the barn. We've got to kind of bring them into compliance. And even for Ripple and Ether, or maybe it's, EOS or NEO or something, but for the big market cap ones, there needs to be clarity in the market. And if the clarity in the market is that they're not securities, they might still be commodities, they might still need to comply with all those laws and so forth, but I think it's a period of time. But if you do an issuance now,
what he's preaching now, with it being quite clear, it's quite clear that there's clarity in the market. Seems problematic from his his past behaviors. Coming down here, it says, but despite Gary Gensler declaring that there was no clarity in the market for XRP or ETH, he is coming after all crypto. Why should ETH holders be concerned? He was well aware of, at Ethereum Joseph, Chris Dixon, in the secret meetings with the SEC Gov for an Ethereum free pass. In the video below, Gary Gensler scoffs that a group of venture capitalists that went into the SEC and how they are sort of saying, believe us, we got you, we are with you, SEC, but we have a bunch of clients who are going to evolve to be a consumable token. So as we come down here, a bunch of venture capitalists visited the SEC. Let's listen to this. Go ahead and rewind this.
Second issue is token design. Is there possibly a design that's really about consumption?
This is by real XRP boy.
About investment, and sort of solely about consumption, not investment. It's going to be a challenging time because the SEC has already said in the Munchie order that it will take more than semantics or more than a token being functional. So this functional bit is an important bit, but not enough. Third, how should multi-stage contracts happen? Like when Filecoin raised $250 million in something called a SAFT. And there's a lot of debate. Can you put a packaging around a token, and so the package is a security and the token later on is not? Is that all right? The SEC has not yet spoken on that, and there's controversy around it. Let's call that, it's yet to be determined. And then fourth is a new concept. Can a security token transform to be something else? And a group of venture capitalists went into the SEC 10 days ago. They've circulated paperwork to a lot of people, and they're sort of saying, believe us, we get you. We're with you, SEC, but we have a bunch of clients that are going to evolve to be a consumable token. I don't think this is going to work. I don't think there's any precedent in the law for a security to transform to be something else. But this is an issue on the table, and it's a worthy debate.
It's quite wild to kind of see, because I've been, before I started this YouTube channel, I've been kind of keeping in touch with kind of everything going on in Twitter versus the, Ripple versus the SEC case, and kind of just hearing, Gary Gensler's kind of roundabout answers when it comes to whether Ethereum is a security or not, and just kind of his roundabout answers whenever he's pressed, when it comes to, giving clarity on Ethereum or, XRP, or just clarity in the market in general. So it's like, it's nuts to see, how he was in MIT, with CFTC, and seeing how, his stance was now that, he is the SEC chair, and just kind of seeing how he's kind of operating. It's quite sickening. But he's supposed to be for us. They're supposed to be for us. I mean, which is rough. I know, as a former firefighter, my wife's an NP, like we work our butts off, put our lives at risk, make an impact on other people's lives, do everything in our power, and work hard and invest our hard-earned money into, a market that can truly change the course and outcome of our lives. So to be tarnished and hindered by, these wish-washy allegations and, saying that there's clarity, but there really isn't clarity, like that's kind of sickening to, to take in as, not only an American, but just as a person in general. People work hard for their money, and for someone to, put a roadblock or tell, he or she whether they can do this or that with their money, whether it's, legal or not. I mean, if there isn't any definitive clarity there, and there's not a certain set of, legal rules, no one's broken anything. What's the issue? Why are you affecting our livelihood? That's kind of where I'm at with things and where my wife's at with things. But, continuing on here, Johnny Deaton says, Gensler says, I kind of don't think this is going to work. He doesn't think a token can start out as a security, but later develop into something different. Those are the words of the current SEC chairman. Maybe that's why he hasn't read Hester Pierce Safe Harbor. So to touch on this really quick, it's true. So to the whole Ethereum 2.0 thing that's going on. I mean, I love Ethereum. I hold Ethereum. There's no shade coming from me when it comes to that. But it's just like, if you're pushing this agenda and this narrative that, SEC or Ethereum is, not a security, yet they're converting over to, Ethereum 2.0, and you have, some of their co-founders coming out saying that, this was a, kind of like a demo or dry run, then converted into, Ethereum 2.0. I mean, this kind of goes against everything that he's saying as the SEC chairman now. If he don't think that it's going to work, that you can at the start be a security, but later develop it to something different, then how does that apply to Ethereum? Now, if you go to, XRP, that's been built out. It's built out. There's no XRP 2.0. It's there, from my understanding. So it's sickening to just like, we're not dumb people. We are, contributing good citizens of the United States, and we work hard for our money, and we would like our money to be placed in things that can change the course of our lives. So to see that is sickening. So now as we come down here, it says, in the video, Gary Gensler states, the market needs clarity. In that, the uncertainty as to whether Ether is or is not a security, it could exist for months, but at some point in time, it is worthwhile to settle that down or have it fall into the courts. It says, listen yourself. So we're going to come down here and listen to this here. So let's watch it again.
This 4-point test has been up to the Supreme Court numerous times since.
XR people.
U.S. law. Could it be changed? Could Congress change something? Yes. But this is U.S. law. And so for those of you that want to get up, walk out, throw me out of the room, just think through. Is the investment for something of value? Did somebody give you Bitcoin? Did somebody give you Ether when you're selling your token? Do you have a common enterprise? I probably made some news earlier this week saying I think Ether itself, or the Ethereum Foundation in 2014, passed this test. But that's in essence because they took Bitcoin for Ether. There was a common enterprise. I'm talking 2014, the Ethereum Foundation. There was a reasonable expectation of profits right in their offering. There was a 50% appreciation in the 42-day offering. And it was relying on the efforts and promoters of others. In essence, the Ethereum Foundation, or maybe a few months later when Joe Lubin set up Consensus, but on others. Now, the Securities Exchange Commission will sort that through, and they'll sort through not just the 1,000 ICOs, but they're actively looking at all the large cap tokens. And they should, because the market needs clarity. The uncertainty as to whether Ether is or is not a security, it could exist for months, but at some point in time, it's worthwhile to sort of settle that down or have it fall into the courts and have some district court or appellate court address it.
So as we come down here, Johnny Deaton says, even if you hate Ripple or dislike Brad Garlinghouse or Chris Larson, you would be a fool to support the enforcement action against them if you believe any other token other than Bitcoin. So, I mean, that's extremely powerful, man. Like, what do you think is going to happen if, the SEC does win this lawsuit? You don't think that they're going to start, chasing and pursuing, other crypto projects and, anything that's involved when it comes to crypto? You don't think they're going to come after them? They are. I mean, look what's happened in the space, overall. This isn't the first case to come about, in the United States courts when it comes to crypto. There's been a bunch of other projects that's gone through stuff. This is the biggest one that's truly here to set precedents. So if you are so against Ripple in the company and XRP and you want them to lose, and you are a heavy investor into crypto in general, even if you're holding Ethereum, like you're only shooting yourself in the foot. You would want to be on the side of Ripple and XRP and, its success, because this is going to set precedent for what goes on in the future. It's no secret that, from my understanding, that cryptocurrency, digital assets, however you want to say it, are truly here to stay. Adoption's been happening like crazy. With this, with what's going on in today's world, inflation, all the other things that's going on, crypto can truly change the course of our lives around the world. This isn't just the United States. People tend to think that the U.S. is everything. The U.S. is massive, of course, but there's so much more out there in this world that is affected by things that the United States does. Yes. So with this being the cases of all cases when it comes to crypto, this is truly going to set the precedent going forward. So with Ripple winning and there being clarity, all that's going to do is give more power and more, a line of success for the other digital assets and cryptocurrencies out there. Okay, so that's what we want. We're here to invest in something that's going to change our future. I mean, with the metaverse, gaming, play to earn, you have DeFi, NFTs, you have all these different things going on in the crypto space. It's all heavily influenced by the success of the space in general. We all need to work together in the best of our abilities, whether that be investing, setting awareness, getting others involved, educating other people, do everything in our power to work together and stop, having this conflict and divide between us. Oh, I'm Ethereum and I'm XRP. It's like, no. Okay, yeah, you have your certain investors that you are, you believe in and you're heavily invested in. Okay, cool. Let's work together and be positive. Stop spreading FUD and have this entire space be successful so we all can be successful, driving in and shooting off in our rockets into the future, because that's what it's all about. I just wanted to come on here and touch this thread. I thought Johnny Deaton did a great job of kind of putting this together, and all the other people, XRP boy, XR people, like, this is great information that, we all need to hear. I just wanted to quickly come on here and share this. With all that being said, be safe out there and hold strong.